So it's a time to have beer and lunch, and we are all sitting here. The Sunday brunch time. How many of you have the practice of doing that? I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, so you are adjusting with coffee. Okay, so very warm welcome to all of you. My name is Vikas. I head the entire South region for Motilal Oswal Asset Management Companies for both the businesses, portfolio management services as well as mutual funds. So before we start, I would like to thank KUG for organizing this event today, giving us the platform to sort of come and interact with all of you. I think he has been instrumental in terms of giving back a lot to the society, helping individuals to become professional advisors, looking at the current scenario, especially when there is a complete paradigm shift from distribution to advisory, and the regulator is also behind, everything that they really want everything to convert into advisory. I think I would give a special mention to him and a big round of applause for him. So as far as financial planning is concerned, I think I'm not the right person. Because I almost I have been on the other side of the table working with manufacturers for more than 13 years of my career. All my life I only worked with asset management companies. So never got a chance to come on the other side and really feel how difficult it is to charge fees to a client. But I keep hearing a lot of things about clients are jittery about paying fees, and they've become habituated about having free lunch. According to us, I think what you need to do is to demand your fees, not request your fees. So I will just run a small couple of slides just to share my experience that how advisory plays an important role. So we'll start the presentation. I'll take about 15 minutes. I have a couple of slides to show. So basically I'm going to talk about investors' behavior. So how advisory plays an important role, where you all can come and demand your fees. So we are on. We'll start.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. So what is the common issue with equity investor? This, because I would talk about equity because that's the only asset class we as an asset management company manages. So we don't have any other asset class. We don't have any fixed income product to offer. We don't have any gold product to offer. We don't have any real estate, so to say, product to offer. Because as a company, we've spent more than 25 years only to understand one asset class. That is why I said that I may not be able to give you complete holistic view of all the asset classes, and I would request Kevu sir to please take this over. But I will just share my experience whenever because I also keep interacting with a lot of high net worth individuals or a couple of large treasuries, where the major problem that I come across, and of course with the help of our advisor, the major problem that I see is there is a huge gap between what is investments return and what is investors return. I don't know how many of you heard about people are saying that. I mean, I'll just show you that I was one day I was doing a internet browsing, and the moment I put value of one, and immediately started reflecting that how 10,000 rupees has become 500 crores if you would have invested in Wipro. My question to all of you is, I don't know how many customers you have come across who have made these kind of money. Everyone knows, if you put 10,000 rupees in equity of Wipro, you would have invested, it would have become 500 crores. But how many of you have actually come across with clients who have made these kind of returns? Can anyone? Let's make it a little more interactive so that we learn from each other. I'm not here to sort of teach anything. All of you have been there in industry for many years. So idea is to make the session a little more interactive. So this is where the gap is, and this is where an advisory comes into picture. This is where you will all play an important role in terms of explaining client. Because if you, for example, if any of your client would have invested 10,000 rupees in Wipro, the moment it would have become 20,000 rupees, you would say that 100%, let's find another Wipro. Assuming that 20,000 rupees goes to 16,000, and again coming back to 18,000, is switching on the CNBC, and somebody is mentioning that this is the time to book profit, I am 100% sure he is going to sell it. I'll give you a classic example. Assuming that you step out from this conference hall and meet 5 investors. Out of 5, assuming that all of them have Demat account, 90%, 4 of them will have companies like Reliance Industries or Reliance Communication in their Demat account. But how many of them will have a stock like Eicher Motors or Bajaj Finance in their portfolio? Is what the question that you need to ask yourself. There's a small example that I'm sharing with you. After doing my own analysis, I realized that people are not ready to buy Eicher Motor just because it has moved from 1,000 to 20,000. Oh, it's expensive. From 1,000, when it went up to 10,000, customers started saying it's already grown by 10 times. When will you book profits? And from 10,000 it is 20,000 rupees. But people will not buy. And therefore, the non-promoter and the non-institutional holding in that particular stock is the lowest. And when you look at Reliance Industry, who has been well destroyer, let me allow me to use this word, for last 7 years or 8 years, have the highest number of investors, retail investors invested in. Why? Because you buy it at cheap price. That is where you all play an important role to give your advisory to your clients. So basically, coming back to financial planning, well, I have very limited understanding of financial planning. But for me, before I talk about financial planning, I think planning makes a difference. When I am preparing for my MBA entrance, I think my planning for preparation is more important. So here I would give more importance to planning than a financial planning. Of course, for financial planning, you require experts like you. So what is planning? There are 5 P's which are very, very important as far as planning is concerned. First of all, it has to be proper. I mean, you just can't plan anything for sake of planning. I mean, it has to be a proper planning. If your client has a goal to buy Honda City after 5 years down the line, I think it is very important for all of you to make him realize the value of Honda City after 5 years, which is costing you today 15 lakhs rupees, would be nothing less than 35 lakhs or 20 lakhs rupees. Whatever the inflation rate, I am sure you are all good at calculating the rates. So proper planning, and it prevents the accidents. I mean, ultimately you will have to, why do you think that it is required for you to plan? Because you have a goal, you have a goal of retirement, you have a goal of your children's marriage, you have a goal of buying car, you have a goal of buying house. I think very, very important is to have prevent this and look at the performance. So planning is preparation. I mean, planning means looking ahead and basically chalking out the plan for future course of action to be followed. So financial planning is nothing but it's a process. All of you know about it. I mean, but there's a pyramid which I just want to show you. Can you, Keurji, you need to help me.
Sure, tell me.
So this pyramid that I want to show. Yeah. So if you look at the financial planning pyramids, according to me, there are three things which are very, very important. One is your wealth distribution, second is your wealth creation, and third is your wealth protection. As I mentioned that I have a disclaimer, I only understand equity language, it's there in our DNA. As an organization, we only do equity. But I would prefer to pick up one of them, which is wealth creation. And my previous speaker mentioned that wealth creation is an art. It cannot be made overnight. So, if you look at wealth creation, there are four ways of, in India, there are how many ways? There are four ways of creating wealth for yourself. One, you have fixed income products, where you put money 100 rupees and you have fixed coupon rate which will give you X amount of money. Then you have another asset class, gold, where all my mom and all that, Rakhi ke Bandhan mein jab 100 rupees, 500 rupees used to accumulate and used to buy gold for the family. So gold is one asset class where you can accumulate and create wealth for yourself. The third is real estate. Unfortunately, we don't have, a real based index like equity market, so we really don't have too much of tracking system. But yes, historically, real estate has been helpful in terms of creating wealth. And fourth is equity. Amongst all four of them, equity as an asset class has beaten all the other asset classes over a period of last 30 years. And I'll give you a classic example. If you look at last 30-year data, markets, the Indian market has grown more than 100 times. So this is called nothing but power of equity. And this is where you can think about creating wealth for yourself. Look at the kind of companies. I was just giving you example of Eicher Motors few minutes back. There are 47 enduring stocks in India which has grown more than 100 times over a period of last 20 years. This is called power of equity. This is how you can create wealth. This is how you can advise your clients. You tell me, where is Reliance here? Where is your DLF? Unitech? Suzlon? Tata Steel?
GMR GVK.
GMR GVK. And you count the number of shareholders and look at the number of shareholders in these good quality companies. People talk about, Eicher has, or Eicher Motors or Bajaj Finance has reached to 7,000 rupees now. It's a time to book profits and come out of it. Do you know, if you look at company like Infosys, it has grown by 2,900 times in last 20 years. If you look at the graph of Infosys, I would be happy if you prove me wrong. I don't think I will ever get a chance to time it. It's a one-way direction, except for 1 or 2 years where after Narayan Murthy decided to move out, the company has struggled and the stock has taken a hit. So how do you create wealth? This is how you create wealth, and this is where your advisory will play an important role. You challenge the customer. You pick up his Demat account statement. I am sure, and there are ways of blaming customers. That okay, these customers are not paying me fees. How do I charge it? I'm finding it difficult. They want to move away. Why don't you challenge your customers? I'll give you a classic example. Let me just give you a data point first. The total market cap today in India? It is close to 100 lakhs crores. The total market cap of Indian equities. Out of which your 40 to 45% or to an extent of 50% is held by promoters, promoter holdings, correct? Then you have another 30% which is held by
FIs.
FIs in India. Then you have another 15%, which is put, all domestic investors put together, Reliance Mutual Fund, HDFC, LIC, Motilal Oswal. And then you have another mota moti 15% holdings, which are in the hand of retail investors, individually. Non-promoter and non-institutional holding is 15 lakhs crores. What is the size of our mutual fund industry?
20,000, 14 lakh crores.
14 lakh. Out of which, what is the equity?
4.5.
4 lakh. So in last 20 years, put together all so-called wealth manager, individual financial advisor, financial planners, everybody put together have accumulated 4 lakhs crores. Out, and I am sure it is a almost appreciation of more than 7 to 8 times. If you look at the actual mobilization, what would be the actual mobilization? Less than a crore. And we underrate these direct holdings. How many times it is bigger than the size of the equity mutual fund today? 4 times. But we go and talk about our financial planning and asset allocation without doing our homework as to understand, is this customer dealing with any local broker and investing in equity directly? If the answer is yes, you pick up his portfolio. And I'll give you a tool. You pick up his portfolio, do your own analysis. Go to my website, motilaloswalmf.com. There is something called tool. Once you click on the tool, it will take you to compare your portfolio. Upload the Excel, it will give you immediate one click away, it will give you analysis that how many, and this is completely unbiased, like you all. It will give you analysis whether these are all enduring stocks that you should hold on to it, or there are stocks which are destroying your wealth. So when I say buy right and sit tight, people say, I've been sitting tight but not been able to create wealth. Because one of the reasons is that they are taking the winners out and holding the ones where they have made mistake and become by default a long-term investors. Out of 6,000 stocks which are listed in BSE and NSE put together, you have only 47 stocks which have grown by more than 100 times. This is called advisory. This is where you can demand your fees. This is where you differentiate yourself. And this is where your investors will have to understand your value and should stand up and say that, yes, I have made my 100 times. This is where your share is. Somebody was mentioning that not everybody is your customer. While it is an individual thought, I could be completely wrong. But for me, I've recently gone through, I was reading a book called The Ultimate Sales Machine. I would recommend all of you to read that book. It's written by Chet Holmes. He's the strategic and the consultant to, lot many companies in America. In fact, you will hardly find very few books, which are kind of written on sales. According to him, what is the success ratio when you make a call? Anyone can guess? 10%?
2 is to 10.
2%? If I give you a figure, then you will not believe it is 100%. I'll tell you how. It's 100%. But there are ways of doing it. According to him, there is something called dream buyer. If I am your dream buyer, and if I am not giving you a location, you just don't leave me. There are 8 times he can say no to you. Only 8 times. As long as you are able to present yourself properly, as long as you are able to provide the required data, and you put him into a dream buyer list, where you keep following it. When I say follow up, doesn't mean that every time you have to just phone him, call him up and say that, sir, I am coming to meet you. There are ways of following up. If you know the fact that he likes reading, why don't you buy a book on value investing and send it across to him without expecting anything? If he's a dream buyer, he's a dream buyer. You have to follow him. So these are the ways that I'm sharing that you can go about doing it. But what it says that one of the most remarkable things about the investing world is how correctly venerated Warren Buffett. आप भगवान की पूजा करते हैं, क्यों करते हैं? You want to follow him, correct? And how completely people ignore his investing advice. And what is more important, what we learn from the history is that people don't learn from the history. What is history? This is history. What it says, you should buy good quality businesses and you should hold on to it for a longer period of time. Infosys has grown by how many times? 3,000 times in last 20 years. But if you talk to somebody who says Infosys is very expensive stock, get me another Infosys. Infosys is Infosys. It has taken 20 years to become Infosys. After 5 years, the business will double up or they will wind up. Will double up. They've taken 20 years to build that business. But we want another Infosys. Infosys is Infosys. A company which is run by great management, it's backed up by strong earnings, has longevity to sustain their earnings. They have created their own economic moat around, which does not allow the competition to enter into. So according to me, I think if you really looking forward to create wealth, as I mentioned that if you're looking at equity markets, I think you first of all need to have vision to see them, courage to buy them, and patience to hold them. Patience is the rarest out of three. They feel that the market will go, it will go down. Let's book profits. That's not the way you can create wealth. You have to have a goal aligned. There's a small story about this gentleman, how returns are made in equity. I'll just share a small story. This gentleman was very lazy, so his wife used to run behind him every time that you don't do anything. How do I run the family? But he never used to feel bothered about it. As in he was like, no, I just want to relax. And one day he finally, because of the regular torture that he used to get from his wife, one day he decided to leave the family and went away. And after almost 20 years, he decided to come back. When he came back, he saw that the small house that he built has become a kind of bungalow. A swimming pool and all that is attached to it. He was astonished, as he was amazed to see that the kind of work which is done, and it is really grown. So he went back, and his son was also not able to recognize him because of his complete change in the look. So he went and said, "Salu, I am your father." He said, "Oh, you're my father. Sorry, I don't know you." And then he said that, "How come all these things have grown?" He said that over a period of 20 years, the economy has grown, my per capita income has grown, and so has the property has grown, and he really been able to shape up his house well. And this is how you can make money in equity. You have to buy equity and you have to forget it. So either you can make the money, you can create wealth intentionally, knowing the fact that equity takes its own time, because you are buying businesses which has strong sustainability to grow over a period of 10-20 years, or other way is to become like him, buy it and forget it. So few disclaimers. I'm not saying that equity is the only asset class. I think you all are doing your own asset allocation analysis and attaching this with the goal. But what I'm really concerned about is the investors' behavior, as I mentioned, and that is where I think you all play an important role. I would not blame them because it takes time to migrate them. All of you have started investing with you in 2002 or 2001 time and have grown their money 10 times. If you go back and talk to them, they will feel extremely comfortable and not only give you your fees but also give you a lot of decisions where you can take the decision on their behalf. But the client who entered in 2008 times, if you talk to them, they would ask you 4 different questions. Why do you think it is happening? Just a small brainstorming. Feel free to share your feedback.
Bad experience.
Bad experience.
Returns were low.
Returns were lower than the expectation.
Sir, economic conditions also.
Capital,
Economic conditions.
economic condition. So,
Which is uncertain.
yeah, but I am telling you to think from an investor's behavior point of view, because these people, high net worth individuals so-called, have created their wealth by following up strongly with their own, vendors or creditors or businesses, and created that wealth. They have the habit of running the same style when it comes to investment, dealing in the same fashion, and therefore they feel that if I follow up strongly with Ravi, my portfolio return can go up by 2% or 3%. But can you do something about it? Or can a fund manager do anything about it? So I would not blame my customers. I think it takes time to migrate. Now the first lot to whom you've already migrated and have grown 10 times, they are not bothering you too much. But the second lot, who have entered in 2008 time, 9, 2010 times, these are the customers who are really busy. Don't bother about them. Just handhold them. And eventually over a period of time, they will also be migrated, and your job is to bring new set of clients. So basically, road to wealth creation, I've already spent so much of time that people only talk about equity. Kitna degi? That's the first question when you go and talk about any equity product. People would ask you why equity. So what is investing? Investing is foregoing current purchasing power now for a greater purchasing power in the future. That needs to be explained to client properly. They come with the mindset that, okay, I am coming in a market where I am going to speculate these shares for 3 years, and then after 3 years I am out because market will go down. The moment I am out, after that market will go down. So that needs to be changed. There's a small data point. If you would have, let's say you have 100 rupees, that valuation of that 100 rupees because of the inflation has gone to a level where it is 6 rupees now. Or as if you look at the latest data, it is 5.94 rupees. So India is an economy where inflation is very high, and that is where again you as a planner will play an important role to plan somebody's goal to make them debt free. What KOG said that it is very important to make your customers debt free. If you would have invested 100 rupees, I've given you example of 4 different asset classes. If you would have invested your 100 rupees in fixed coupon products, the valuation of that would have grown to 1619 rupees over a period of almost 30 years. If you look at the gold, it is close to 4,000 rupees. If you look at your Sensex, it is almost 211 times. But if you look at Sensex cum dividend, including dividend, it has grown to 35,000 rupees. So as I mentioned that it is the only asset class which perhaps beat any other asset class and has beaten every time. If you look at inflation adjusted return, there also it has almost grown by 217 times. Couple of examples, like for example, look at companies like, and again you will play an important role advising your client, companies like Asian Paints, company like Infosys. If you look at last 20 years of their returns, they're all in double digits. They've all made 20% kind of returns. This I'm talking about CAGR over a period of time. So that is where you will have to come and play an important role to differentiate between good quality stocks and high beta stocks. Most of these investors, because they take advisory from here and there and get into these high beta stocks and then realize that, oh, I made a mistake, and making money in equity market is extremely difficult. I think you will have to handhold them and share these things. And every time they say that market has gone up, so what is it that I should do? I think what I would say is that I am not afraid of being in the next 25% downtick. I am afraid of missing the next 100% uptick. One cannot time the market. It is not in the human nature or or anybody's hand to time the market. And this is something I am telling you out of after spending almost 27 years in equity market as an organization. So the great long-term risk of stock is not owning them. This is how we differentiate. So we, for example, we always we spend almost 70% of our time on identifying good quality companies. When I say good quality, essentially I'm trying to tell you that we look at both good quality businesses which are run by great management. Management which has potential to take the business to the next level. They are competent enough to grow the business. And let's say you have, it's like if the quality of business is good, but the management is not competent enough, it's like 1 multiplied by 0 is 0. Or let's say you have great extraordinary management coming from IIT, IIM Ahmedabad, who do not have good quality businesses, it's like 0 multiplied by 1 is again 0. So you have to have quality of both, and of course backed up by strong earnings. So growth is another important aspect. And third is we look at the kind of economic mode, the sustainability of the earnings. So another example, HDFC, if you look at HDFC, if you look at TCS, I mean, you tell me, where do you find the gaps to time the HDFC Bank in last almost 20 years? Look at the chart. The only place where you can get little bit of discount is 2008 when the market crashed. But who had the guts to accumulate stocks like HDFC in 2008? So if you buy these good quality stocks, no matter what the direction of the market may be, perhaps you will continue to get your desired results. And this is how you need to handle your customers, by preparing these data points, preparing this chart, sharing this knowledge. You pick up any asset class. I am not saying, I am only sharing about equity because that's the only thing I know. So therefore I am sharing it. But you have better understanding of fixed income product or understanding on gold product. You can pick up the chart and show that how good the journey is, and that would perhaps help you to sort of take this forward. So thank you so much. Once again, I would like to thank KUG for giving me an opportunity to come and interact with all of you.
Our pleasure that
Yeah.
day, on a short notice, basically you have arranged infrastructure and arrangement. So that's the reason we are all here and participating and attending a conference.
So I think at Motilal Oswal, sir, it is our attempt to support people. I mean, especially like you, profession like you.
You can say gems of the AMC profession, and he always support for the knowledge building activity. So quick 2 to 3 questions. Any 2 or 3 questions quick? Yes.
Sir, what you have told, sir, what you have given my slides, sir, exactly, it's perfect, sir, that within these 20 years, the stock has gone, like you have given the example for TCS, Wipro and all of that. So same, actually the thing is, the confusion is there. One advertisement comes like this, sir, the small will become big. This is what they say. Sometimes back this company was small and now it has become big. So we research like that, what they are at show, and they have shown like some companies, I don't remember like that, and they have shown 500% returns. We research like that. So there is a lot of confusion. There is they are putting some very chindi company, matlab small companies they are picking and they are saying that this way they are researching.
Sir, I mean, there is no denying on the fact that ultimately the large companies have not become large overnight. They were small at some point of time. So I don't deny the fact that, for example, we bought into a company called Page Industry. So the first time when it was 500 rupees around. As we speak today, it has grown to 13,000 rupees. So it was a small company which has become now mid cap and is in the verge of becoming large cap. So you need to identify, as I mentioned, that you could put your own filters. One Keurji said that it has to be a debt-free company. It has to be a high cash generating company. So you need to look at ROE, you need to look at ROC, you need to look at who is running the business, how ethical the management is, are they declaring the dividend regularly, who declares the dividend, whose promoter's intention is very clear that they want to work for shareholders and not want to work for themselves. And as I mentioned, that out of 6,000 stocks, according to me, there are more than 5,000 stocks, they get listed to make money for themselves, not for you and me as an investor. So you will have to play an important role as an advisor to understand and differentiate and provide your unbiased advisory to your clients. So I would say that the ball is in your court, not in our. As a manufacturer, we would manufacture the product and make it available to you. It is for you to differentiate and understand that who is running what kind of portfolio. Correct, sir? Please add if there is anything that you like. So we leave it on you to decide, sir. Each one of them, I am not saying that his style is good or my style is good. Each of the manufacturers have their own style. So at Motilal Oswal, we felt that the only style that we understand is buy right, sit tight, and therefore we can't have multiple products. So therefore we don't have multiple products. Whereas if somebody can have multiple, styles under the same umbrella and can run various products, nothing like it. So I would say that you will have to really get into product, look at the portfolio. I still see one of the best small cap, I don't want to name, has highest amount of DLF in the portfolio. But unfortunately, that is not been looked at properly or completely ignored by most of these investors. So they say at the end of the day, they are concerned about returns. But according to us, what is more important is not outcome. It is about the process. So you will have to really examine that which manufacturer is really following the best process and ensuring that there is no overnight accident. So because if they make accident, ultimately it will come to you because you are accountable to your client. So my submission to you is generating alpha is in your hand, not in manufacturer's hand.
Last question. Any last question?
What is your view about passive index funds?
Sir, I mean, we are running the passive index fund. In fact, we are the only MC, perhaps, which started focusing on passive funds. But this is more to do with, how you want to build the portfolio of your clients. So, according to us, it is a, block builders. So, obviously, you will have to do an asset allocation. But our sense is we have a lot of respect for these kind of products because your expense ratio is almost negligible there. And at the same time, it is well managed. Again, you will have to examine who is managing.
Okay, last question. Yeah.
See, we were talking about the investment about Wipros and Infosys of the world and how they have been a wealth creator.
Yeah.
We look at the positive part of it, right?
Yeah.
But then within these 20 years, there was Asian financial crisis.
Mm-hmm.
There was Harshan Mehta, Ketan Parekh 2008 subprime crisis. How do we convince the retail customer or the investor who is a layman? We are all here for the layman, right?
Sure.
As a CFP. How do we convince that? Because equity is a very risky asset. We all as a CFP, we know that. How do we convince this now? I cannot ask CFPs, I'm asking you since you are from Motilal AMC. How do we convince that in a layman's definition?
Yeah. So first of all, we don't have to convince anybody. That's the prima facie. We don't have to convince
But
about.
let me put this, not convince, and how do
You
we
are-
aware the retail customer?
Sure,
or the
sure.
retail
How do you
customer
make them
about
aware? Correct. So because as a certified financial planner, your job is to do an asset allocation. Correct, sir? You add me very well.
Yeah.
And relate that with the link. Link it with the goal. If goal says that the expectation of the asset class is higher, then you will have to really take the risk. And the only asset class which is available in India is equity, where you will have to. Coming back to your question more specifically is Infosys or Wipro. Yes, there has been a time when the stock has gone through difficult times as well. But that is where, as I said, that for a retail investor, what he has to understand is that he is buying businesses. He is not buying stock, keeping that this will give you 50% return over next year. If you are starting a business, you start the business for 5 years, 10 years or 15 years. You don't say, okay, I am setting up one software company or I am setting up one pharmaceutical company. Next year I am going to close down. You want to buy stuff from me, buy it or you leave it. What you do is you help your investors to understand the business company is into. And what you are essentially doing is you are migrating him from looking at equity as a speculative asset class to give him a rocket science that look, here is a company, Infosys, which has more than 20% earnings. What is investing? Investing in equity is you are basically buying future earnings and discounting at today's price, correct? So you will have to make him understand, look, this is the company which is growing by 20% year on year, has the history and the track record of growing by more than 20% year on year, and the order book looks like that it has again potential to differentiate themselves and continue to grow by this percentage. What we are buying is earnings. Assuming that market is going to be so what you're doing is if you're buying earnings of the company, you're buying, let's say the Infosys or TCS has 25% of earnings, then essentially I'm trying to tell you that in 3.5 years, your earnings will double up, correct? If your earnings will double up, the stock prices will follow the trend. Because markets are nothing but slaves of the earnings. So if 3.5 years, let's say market is headwinded environment, there are possibilities this 3.5 years can become 4.5 years. The success may get delayed by 1 year or 1.5 years. Or if the market is really tailwinded and supporting the global economy and everything is supporting, there are possibility you can achieve this within 3 years. But on an average, if you're buying a company which has 20-25% kind of earnings, you make as much money in the stock market as company makes. You can pick up any stock and do your own analysis and realize that all these 47 stocks are in the tune of or follows the trend of their earnings. Yeah, just to conclude this and then I'll come. So you'll have to make him understand that you're buying companies which has these earnings and over a period of this much time, this company will give this much kind of returns. All you need to do is to examine that in the light of whole period and keep reviewing it time to time.
I request that you discuss in lunch break.
One-on-one, yeah.
One
So
small.
yeah, one-on-one we can have
So
it.
I'll answer most of the query in different way.
Sure.
First, we thank you, Vikas ji.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir, for coming and participating.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for giving.
So because one more